Here it is, guys. My Google Plus account sprung out of the ether. Part 2. Seems this will never end. First there's one layout, then there's another. Then there's just more changes to how things look in general. Colors are disappearing from YouTube's page. YouTube 1 channel is a good example of this. Now the only part of color we have is a banner, the videos, and there's all this black and white. And now this is where I'm really getting pissed off. Google Plus is now a thing. If you might have seen by my last video, I was talking about how my Google Plus account literally just sprung out of the ether. I go to comment on a video, and next thing you know, a Google Plus account randomly appears under my username. Like, what the? How did this Google Plus account appear? Ever since I heard about Google Plus, I was opposed to it. Of course, I gotta say why I'm opposed to it. Why else am I making this video? Yeah, I am against Google Plus, and here's why. Things are becoming more complex. I was actually seriously wondering if Google could possibly mess up something as simple and important as the comments. Feedback, receiving feedback on a video. I was wondering if they could actually seriously mess up something as simple as that. And to my horror, they actually did mess it up. They literally had to sit down and think about how they were going to mess this up. It's like, they need skills to mess it up this badly. Like, no, not really, I don't know. But seriously, how do you mess up something so simple and important this badly? And also, YouTube Help doesn't even say much. I'm still confused as to how you reply to comments. The inbox has been moved. I found it, but turns out I don't need it anymore. All my new comments are going to come through Google Plus, which at least I found as soon as I go onto the main homepage for YouTube. They're right there. That's one plus, but still. Seriously, this Google Plus is not something we need. In our current state, we've been doing terrible because it seems that Google's just become stronger and stronger, and some of the most powerful YouTube partners, such as Rayleigh and Johnson, seem to have more power than the Pope. If you've seen me talking about Rayleigh and Johnson before, then yeah, I was pretty much highlighting the fact that he's just being a hypocrite, and he gets the copyright to other people's videos, but when you try and re-upload his videos, even if you remove his face and likeness from them, he'll file you with a copyright strike, even though it's not a valid one, and of course, YouTube will allow it. I believe Rayleigh and Johnson, without Rayleigh and Johnson, made this point very clear. Another thing, this Google Plus thing is going to make things way more complex in terms of comments, and we don't need that. It's just going to push us further apart. The last thing we need right now is to divide even further. We need to work together. We need to stand together. We need to show Google that they don't own us. We don't need to divide any further. That's just going to make us weaker. For example, I've got Aesop's Fables right here. And to believe they threw this guy off a cliff because they didn't like what he was saying. There was this fable called The Lion and the Bulls, and the moral of this one is, I got it highlighted here. Can you see it? I don't frickin' know. It says as the moral, united we stand, divided we fall. Pretty much, to make the story really short, there's a lion who's trying to kick the bulls' asses. The bulls are always stuck together. They always stay together. And whenever the lion comes in and attacks one of the bulls, he fails because the other two bulls are backing the other bull up. Then the lion spreads nasty rumors about the bulls. They actually fall for it, and then they stay separated from each other, and then the lion just makes easy prey of each of the bulls. As I said before, united we stand, divided we fall. Is this maybe something intentional? It is glaringly clear that the people of YouTube do not want Google+. According to this like-dislike ratio, I'd say at least 90% of the people, if this was an accurate representation of the population of YouTube, it would say that at least 90% of YouTube is opposed to this update. And you thought this was going to bring an upsurge of goodwill? Oh, you must be really surprised at the backlash. So yeah, you're pretty much making things dividing people is not good for smaller channels like myself. Think about people who actually want to have a decent chance of getting known on YouTube. That is now one of the hardest things. It is almost impossible if you do it legitly. Because updates like these keep making it worse. This is the second time I can name a site of some sort in which updates constantly make things worse. The first being RuneScape, but this is just worse. And there's even a petition to try and revert things to the way they were a few days ago. In only 2 days, the petition has amassed about 25,000 signatures, mine included, and it doesn't need that much more until it's complete. Well, the SOPA petition got 100,000 signatures in a very quick time, and we never even heard about that again, but I wonder what this petition is going to do. Hopefully it's going to work. Oh, and I'm going to show you a screenshot of the petition as I sign it, saying, it actually does say in the red square to the left, new information has been brought to me by one of the supporters of this petition that their account was suspended by Google just for telling people about this petition. Just another reason to sign it. And then, the red box on the right was why I oppose Google+. It compromises privacy by linking things together, and Google's just going to be even more on your ass to get your real name, which before I strongly opposed. Ever since I knew that was a thing, I was against it. Divides us, as I was talking about before, making things so confusing that people wouldn't be able to figure out how to use them, and YouTube doesn't even help you out that much, believe it or not. They just don't even care. And it removes our ability to speak out against our oppressors. Yeah, it's definitely helpful that you can remove negative comments, spam comments, or just people advertising shit like viruses or whatever. That we want to remove. But legitimate comments can get taken down too. Or just people trying to speak out against Google Plus or anything else that may be oppressing us at the moment. It's taking away our freedom of speech. It's like death. The death of freedom. And this is why I oppose Google+. It compromises privacy, it divides us, and it's going to try and remove our ability to speak out against our oppressors. It will be the death of our freedom on this site.